Hello, and welcome to Cheers. That's one woman's opinion. I'm your host, Carolyn Mills. So, a couple things. Um, I was supposed to interview Helene, I'm not sure how to say her name, Foodie from Dr. Quinn. The day she was going to do it was Memorial Day, and she didn't realize it was Memorial Day at the time, so we didn't get to do the interview. And she's currently working on some projects, so she's kind of super busy. Um, so I'm going to contact her probably in the fall and see if she has availability then. So right now that interview is on hold until further notice. And I apologize for not doing this podcast last week. I've had been having a real major issue with migraines, and in April I had seven. Um, Last month, May, I had 16. I've already had two this month. So far today has been good. They tend to occur more during the night, but I skip them anytime. I see a specialist in July at the end of July. So hopefully we can get those taken care of. But yeah, that day was just really bad, and I try to work through them, and that's how bad it was. I just couldn't. Um, so let's go ahead and jump into our episode. We're doing Cheers season 3, episode 12, A Ditch in Time. It first aired December 20th, 1984. It was directed by James Burrows and written by Ken Eston. Guest cast: Carol Kane as Amanda, David Wiley as Todd. He passed away he passed away in 2007 from cancer. I read the word died, and that's how you write it, and I read December. Sorry. Kate Williamson as Mona. She passed away in 2013 from an undisclosed cause. And Larry Harple as Larry, and he passed away in 2005, also undisclosed cause. Cheers is filmed in front of a live studio audience, was said by Rhea Perlman. Let's go ahead and get into our summary. In our cold open, Norm comes in and Cliff asks him about the baby making. Norm says that Vera blames him for not being pregnant. A customer is surprised because Norm does not enjoy having sex with his wife. Um, which is kind of interesting since men are traditionally known as being the ones who always want to have sex, and it's women who don't. Um, but we know how Norm is. Norm just wants to drink his beer. Women are not a big concern to him. Where everybody knows your name plays. Sam comes out of his office and asks Carla what she thinks of his new cologne. She says that she likes it, and then asks, "When will I be able to see again?" Coach is getting a drink for a woman at the bar. Sam sees her and tells Coach that he will handle it. Sam flirts with her and asks her out to dinner. She asks if he knows a place that does not require socks. Then she says that she can't go out with him until she sees the person she came to see. Diane turns her and sees Diane turns and sees her, exclaiming, "Amanda!" Diane introduces her friend Amanda to Sam. Sam says that they are headed out. Diane asks to speak to Sam alone before he leaves. She asks Sam not to go out with Amanda. She says that she can't say why, but asks him to trust her. Sam accuses her of being jealous. Diane denies it, and Sam leaves with Amanda. Coach talks to Norm about the baby. He says that Barry is really good with names and gave him the name Coach. Someone says, "Well, that makes sense. You were a coach, so he called you Coach." Coach explains he always thought it was that he was called Coach because he never flew first class. Classic coach line right there. So this drink, which you can only see if you happen to be on YouTube, it's a coconut protein shake, and it's got avocado and coconuts and pineapples in it and some protein powder. I've been trying to work on losing weight, but don't tell anyone because I'm trying not to say anything. Um, that was a joke. I don't like avocado that much. It's okay though in the shake. It's not bad, but not a big avocado fan, honestly. Sorry, that was a what's that called? Side note, not side note, but sort of like that. I was because I was having a drink of it and I got sidetracked. Sidetracked. That's the word. So where were we? Oh yes. Norm says that he and Vera already have a list of names that they are fighting over, and he says when the baby is born, they can then fight over boy names or girl names. Cliff tells him they can find out the sex of the baby before it's born now. Sam returns. Diane asks him about the date, saying it was a very long dinner. She asks if he plans to see Amanda again. He says he's thinking about calling her again. Diane is frustrated that Fraser's away at that nerve ending symposium. She decides she has to tell Sam that she met Amanda at Goldenbrook. Goldenbrook was the place where she stayed when she got psychiatric treatment. Sam calls it the booby hatch. She explains it was just a place to sort out her feelings under constant psychiatric supervision. She tells Sam that Amanda is obsessive with men. Sam does not understand, so Diane explains. She replies, Sam replies, kind of like Yolanda Johnson. Great save there by Sam. I love the Yolanda name when he's trying to compare Diane to Amanda. So it's kind of like you, and then adds the Yolanda part. Sam says he will back off at the first sign of obsessive behavior, but doesn't know what that is, so he asks for an example. On cue, Amanda comes in with her parents. She tells them that Sam is the man she is going to marry. Diane tells Sam this is an example of an obsessive behavior. She introduces her parents to Sam. Sam wants to speak to Amanda alone, but Diane intercepts and then asks to speak to him alone in the back. Um, Says he just got back from this dinner. It's kind of interesting how fast she gets her parents and returns to the bar because she makes the comment later that, well, I'll get to it, but she'll say she wants to drop him off at the bus stop. And I'm thinking, if they have to take a bus somewhere, that usually means you gotta wait. And she just met Sam right before they went out. So it's kind of interesting how fast that all happened. Unless, and I'll save that for later, my unless thought. I don't want to give everything away. Norm and Cliff come to the back to play pool. They tell Sam that Amanda's picking out silver patterns. Sorry. Diane says that Sam cannot use the same prearranged speech he uses for every woman he dumps. Sam explains that he does not have one prearranged speech. Cliff says he has six. Norm says Sam should use number three. It's times like this. I'm ashamed God made me a man. I wonder if that's where Cliff got it in the season one episode when he says, I'm ashamed God made me a man. Was he just stealing Sam's line? Or did Sam steal his line? Diane yells at them to get out, and she gives them each money to get a couple of beers on her. Diane explains that Amanda is vulnerable. He needs to be sensitive and real, or the consequences could be horrendous. She adds that Amanda may try to kill herself again. Sam is relieved that he won't be harmed. Diane looks shocked at his reaction. He explains that he is nervous and did not mean it the way it sounded. He wants Diane to tell him what to say, but Diane doesn't know. She tells him, be strong, because Amanda is manipulative. So Sam returns to Amanda. She says her parents really like him. He starts to speak and she jumps up. She jumps up and yells, please, please don't dump me. She says bringing her parents was stupid and she's going to get rid of them. Sam tells her he just wanted to see if her parents wanted a drink. He then tries again to break up with her. Once again, she yells, no, no, please, Sam. Sam asks her to let him speak. He then breaks up with her. She says she is embarrassed and tired. Sam asks if she's okay. She tells him not to blame herself for anything that has happened or is going to happen. Uh, I lost my place. Okay. Sam says that he didn't mean the bad through. He meant the good through. He explains that means they basically keep dating. Amanda likes the good through. She tells him they can go drop her parents off at some bus stop. So back to what I was saying before. Now we got to the line about the bus stop because she says some bus stop, which implies it doesn't matter where they go. So maybe they are local, and that's how they got them. And she's just saying we'll drop them off because earlier she said we'll get rid of them. So maybe she's just gonna drop them off at some random bus stop, and wherever they end up, cool. She's got Sam. Diane asks if he has another date with Amanda. Sam responds, "No, I wouldn't call it exactly a date. It's more like a lifetime commitment." Diane notes the big list of baby names that Norm has. Norm says that he and Vera think of names while making love. This is a great scene. In shock, Diane almost spills the coffee she is pouring. He explains it helps pass the time. Shelley Long, great here, because she's literally pouring the coffee, and then he makes Norm says the line about thinking of names while having sex, and she just drops the coffee and she just catches it in time. And I'm curious because knowing that Shelley Long comes from improv, did she do that? Was it scripted? Like, okay, almost drop the coffee and then catch it, or did she literally that's just the reaction improving and they kept it in? Um, Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get Shelley Long. She was going through some things, so she wasn't doing interviews, unfortunately. So I can't ask her. I've been trying to get James Burrows, but trying to contact him has not been easy. But we're only in season three. We'll just keep trying. So Diane suggests the name Toby. Carla makes fun of the name, then tells Norm, "My ex may not be a class act. He has a first rate male name, Nick." Norm says that Nick, Sam, and Ernie are all on the list. Cliff asks where his name is. Norm laughs and tells him, "Have a heart, would you?" Cliff points out that every male name except Zeus is on the list. Norm adds Zeus. I feel bad for Cliff. They all make fun of his name, and even Zeus is better. Sam tells Diane he took care of the sticky situation with Amanda. He sees Amanda coming and runs to hide in the office. Amanda is dressed all in black. She tells Diane they should have a funeral for Sam. Diane brings Amanda to Sam's office. Diane tells Sam to open the door. Seeing Amanda, Sam introduces himself as Ed, Sam's twin brother. Before that, he actually asks Diane if the freak showed up, and then he sees her and has to cover. He then apologizes to Amanda for how he handled it. Amanda says it's her fault. She put him in a terrible position. Diane tells Amanda that when her life seemed darkest, she met Fraser Crane. Amanda says she has a history of being wrong with men. However, she then pledges her undying love to Sam, believing this time she's not wrong. Diane tells Amanda that Sam is Ralph, the man she talked about in therapy. Amanda says that if she can't sign contracts or get credit cards or vote, she can't be responsible for some hysterical hogwash I babbled in the back room of a bar. She thanks Diane and then opens the door to leave. After she leaves, Sam asks Diane what she said about him in group therapy. Diane says she told the truth. Sam asks her to be more specific, and Diane tells him about the time at Christmas, but Sam does not understand why steak knives are so bad. Diane explains it was impersonal. Sam asks what's personal about a scarf, and she explains that she knitted it herself after taking classes to learn how. She also sent away for the material, consulted the colors to determine the best color, and then hand dyed the fabric herself. She also told them about Sam not visiting her when she was sick with the flu, and the time he sent her secondhand flowers for Valentine's Day. Sam explains he had an excuse for that one, but doesn't remember what it is. She mentions the time that he claimed his fake Uncle Nathan died in the season 2 episode Snow Job. Diane leaves the office as Sam says, "I'm sorry." She turns back. He explains he did the best he could with her, and he added that the good times with her were some of the best times he's ever had. He's about to say something else, but she's leaving before he says something stupid and ruins it. After she leaves, Sam says, "Oh, yeah, that would have had ruined it. Would it ever?" I haven't done a question in a while, so before we get to the discussion, I'm going to put out this question. What do you think Sam might have said that would have ruined that moment? Feel free. If we don't know the answer, just have fun. Make up something. You can, as you know, I'll share the things later, Facebook and all that jazz. You can either message it or you can do a voice. Don't do a voicemail. I can't hear. I won't know what it says. Well, so it's captioned. If you do a voicemail, make sure it's captioned. And maybe I can play some next week. We'll see. I can share some. We'll see. Discussion. I gave this episode 4.5 out of 5 beer nuts. Carol Kane was awesome as Amanda, but she's good in everything she does. And of course, she was my MVP for the this episode. Um, Carol Kane was in Taxi, which is probably how James Burrows already knew her. She played Laka's wife, and I totally can't think of her name at the moment. Hold on, Google knows. Hey Siri, what was the name of Laka's wife in Taxi? Okay, apparently Siri doesn't know. We'll have to do it the hard way and actually write it in. Siri's in a totally different episode. Laka's wife name. Um, okay, why can I not find the answer? You know what? Just this way. Cast of Taxi. There we go. Carol Kane played Simca. Okay, gonna think of her name. She played Simca. She dated like I said, Locke was playing by the great late great Andy Kaufman. And she I believe they later got married, if I remember correctly. Been a while since I've watched Taxi. She was also the witch in The Princess Bride, the greatest movie ever. I might have to do a rewatch of that at some point. Just might have to do that. Greatest movie ever. She played the witch who was Miracle Max, played by Billy Crystal's wife. She's the one that says, "I'm not a witch, I'm your wife." I did try to get her. I haven't heard back yet, so I don't know. Would love to have her. She's awesome. Amazing, talented woman. Best dressed, Sam Malone. This outfit right here. I love this shirt. Um, those you are watching. Again, YouTube is definitely the best way to go here because you can see the things that I am showing. But I know that's not convenient for everyone, so that's why it's on audio as well and other platforms. Our Grand Slam line by Amanda when she's leaving the office after she finds out Sam is Ralph. Sam, I will think of you every time I see something scurry under my sink. Or on baseline between Sam and Diane. When Sam thinks that Diane is jealous when she first says not to go out with Amanda. Sam says, one of these days you're going to wise up and realize that if you want a chance at getting back together with me, you're going to have to start talking a little nicer. Sam, you're an unmitigated idiot. Too little, too late. Here's a little known fact. In the pool room, on the chalkboard, it says Go Tigers. In 1984, the Detroit Tigers won the World Series, defeating the San Diego Padres. And of course, we don't talk about what happened 2 years later in the World Series because I'm a Red Sox fan, so we just gonna ignore that one. If you like this episode, as always, like, subscribe, comment, etc., 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 and you can join our Facebook group. Oh, I gotta turn off the thing. I'm about to see it. I always forget about that, and they don't make it easy. So this is where I just talk randomly as I get rid of the background. And if we turn off the light in the back, it makes it easier to see. Okay, so as I was saying, if you like this episode, like, comment, follow. You can join our Facebook group at Cheers, That's One Woman's Opinion. You can follow us on Instagram at Cheers, One Woman's Opinion Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter X at One Woman Opinion. Again, no S because for some reason it didn't allow me to put the S in there. Join the Reddit subgroup, or I think that's what it's called, Reddit group. I don't know what they're called. Cheers Rewatch Podcast, however, on Reddit. And you can always email at cheers one woman's opinion podcast at gmail.com. And feel free to answer that question I asked about what you think Sam might have said. And maybe we'll share some of those answers next week. And next week, we will be looking at Cheers Season 3, Episode 13, Who Done It? And we are now officially halfway through Season 13. Did I say 13? Let's try that again. We're now halfway through Season 3. Oh, I know, because we're doing Episode 13 next week. All right. And that's one woman's opinion. Have a wonderful day or night.